welcome back to Build with the Boys. It's time for a weekly catch-up. There's been nothing model-wise this week because we're in that annoying phase where we get feast or famine. And at the moment we're in famine. So nothing's turned up this week. It just hasn't. It will though. So, well, last week I should say. Nothing turned up last week. But I can tell you now that Titanic is due this week. So Titanic's going to be here literally any day. Could be tomorrow, could be Friday, could be Saturday. Don't know. But it is coming this week. The week after that, it'll be Infinity Gauntlet. The week after that, it'll be Disney Doll's House. The week after that, Ecto 1. So all good. And also the Tumbler. So it's all coming through. Then once that's running, every week there'll be something. We won't have this weird famine week anymore. It's just the way our deliveries have panned out. We have this very, very odd week. So the last week of the month, first week of the month is always kind of a bit dead period. But we did build the Indiana Jones Lego set on the channel. That was a lot of fun. I really like that. And we are tempted to get the big one. So there's a big 130 quid set, which is the opening of Raiders. So it's got the rolling boulder, it's got the dart shooters, it's got the pit, we like it. I think we might do that. We might do that one at Christmas. News-wise, Bond goes live tomorrow. Yeah, so the DB5 goes live tomorrow over at Agora. Now, it doesn't matter how many times I say this, there's people that just won't have it. It is not the Eagle Moss model, right? It isn't, okay? And it's like, well, how do you know? I just do. It's not the Eagle Moss model. Because the easiest way I can explain this is Ecto 1, okay? Ecto 1A, which was in Ghostbusters 2, and Ecto 1, which was in Ghostbusters Afterlife, are all Miller Meteors. They're all Ecto 1. However, not the same car. So the Ecto 1A, very different. Different lights on it, different back. They put extensions on it. And the Ecto in Afterlife, rusty, gunner seat, very different. Same car, very different. DB5 is the same. So the DB5 that's been offered through Agora is the No Time to Die DB5. The DB5 that's offered through Eagle Moss was the Goldfinger DB5. Two very different cars. Same car, same make and model, but very different. And that's exactly what you're going to find. So more news will be released about this tomorrow. So tomorrow Agora go live with this and all the bells and whistles and blah, blah, blah will all be there. But they have released a picture of their DB5. Now, it is a picture of a DB5, but this is their DB5. Beautiful, beautiful thing. So we'll have more information about that tomorrow, and all of your answers, all your questions I'm sure will be answered, what it's going to cost, how many issues you're going to get per pack, when it actually launches, blah, 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 blah. So all of that's going to be there tomorrow. Big data surge. So, I mean, we might do a video about it tomorrow. It depends on what comes out about it. If not, we'll catch up on it on the next one. But there is a Facebook group for this. So Kev over the Nexus, who is Lord and Master of the Parkwork Facebook group, has got a Facebook group for the DB5. For any DB5 Agora builders, it is over there. I'm a moderator of it, so I will be there to answer any questions you may have about this Bond car, and I would imagine that site's probably going to evolve to incorporate all of the Bond cars coming from Agora, because we know Agora are doing a lot of Bond vehicles. Another reason, I know there's a lot of you won't have it, but another reason why this isn't the Goldfinger DB5 is because if it was, they'd have launched this in January, because the model already exists. There'd been no delay. It would have just been like, here it is. It ain't, right? But we'll see tomorrow, won't we? But I assure you it's not the formerly Eagle Moss DB5. Millenium Falcon. So Millenium Falcon is also live, as we spoke about last week. So you can go and sub to that. And I believe that's going to start shipping the 9th of August. I don't know. It sounds about right. 12th of August. Again, there is a Facebook page for that, Facebook group for that. You can come over and join. Again, I'm a moderator of that one, to be there to answer any questions you have. A lot of questions are coming about, have they fixed this and have they changed that? And have they, I'm going to say no, because the only thing I can base that on is I built the R2-D2 through Fan Home, which was probably 5 or 6 years old at that point, and it still had the faults. So there's a sensor in R2's foot which isn't down far enough. You still build it with that fault, and then the fault gets rectified later on in the build. They haven't removed that. It's still there. So I would expect, no, if it had faults before they rectified later on, they're probably still in it. But there is a lot of modifications that can be done to the Millenium Falcon, and the group over there we'll talk you through all of them. So the links to both of those groups are in the description. So if you'd like to head on over and join the group and speak to like-minded people building these models, you can. And we'd love to have you. We really would. It's a good place to be. So all of Kev's groups are good. So I mean, there's always, whatever the model is, Kev's got a group for it. So if you are a builder, you can find a group over there. You can. In other news, have you got 1,400 quid to spare and an understanding wife? If you have, you might want to get yourself one of these. Grimlock, in a really weird choice. The people that did the moving, self-converting Robosen Optimus Prime have opted to do Grimlock. I mean, I was expecting Bumblebee or, I don't know, someone else, but they've gone Grimlock. So that Grimlock, it might just look like a Grimlock. It isn't. That Grimlock will transform on its own. You ain't got to touch it. You can just say transform and it does it itself. It will walk like a dinosaur. It will growl. It will do all of its thing. It will Grimlock. It does all of that. But it's 1,400 quid, which I know you might be thinking, wow, that's 200 off. It's normally 1,600 quid. So that's a 1,400 pound Grimlock. So if you want one, you can get one. You can go to Robosen to see it. Now again, I will post a link to Robosen below. We have no affiliation with Robosen, but if you want one, I just think they're cool, and they are not the easiest things to sort of find and come by. But the link down below will take you to it, and you can go and see the video of Grimlock doing his thing. It's mental. They are nuts watching them transform on their own. They are beautiful things, and if they weren't 1,400 quid a go, I'd be tempted to get one. Transformers, as I've said quite openly before, it's not my thing. I like Transformers, I do. I've seen the movies, I watched them when I was a kid. I did own Transformers, but it's not. I don't have that same affection for it that a lot of people do. It was never my main thing. My main things were Masters of the Universe. I was obsessed with Masters of the Universe. Ninja Turtles. I like the Ninja Turtles a lot. Mask. I remember Mask. Mask. I don't think it's going to get remade because it was almost like a militia group. But it was kind of a hybrid, I'd say, of G.I. Joe and Transformers. So they have vehicles that look like normal vehicles, but they transform into sort of like battle vehicles. But Mask was great. I like Mask. But Transformers now, it just never really, I don't know, I think part of it was I was a poor kid and Transformers were bloody expensive because it'd be metal. A lot of the early, I owned Transformers. I had Starscream. He was metal. His legs are more metal. I had Optimus Prime as well. Optimus Prime, I think if you were of a certain age, if you're a Gen X kid, I'm pretty sure Optimus Prime was just like government issued to you. We all owned one. And everyone lost the fists. So that's happened with that. Speaking of toys that everyone lost bits of, and also speaking of DB5, if you would like something fairly beautiful, which just absolutely reeks of nostalgia, and you've got to spare 30 quid, well, why not pick yourself up one of these? So that's the Corgi Goldfinger DB5. It's a beautiful thing, and they've recreated the packaging, and that is available through the Corgi Collectors Club. You can just Google that, Corgi Collectors Club, but again, I'll put it in the link. It is as the original was. So you might be thinking, why is it gold? Because they made them gold. No one knows why the choice was to make them gold. Because this was not, believe it or not, released to promote Goldfinger. This came out a good 18 months after Goldfinger. So even though it's referred to as the Goldfinger DB5, wasn't. I mean, I believe more films have been released by the time that car was actually available. But if anyone's going to lose anything, it was the guy, right? So I owned one of those, and I got it in St. Ives on a family holiday when I think I was about 6. And I remember buying one of those, and we had the dude in the car for, I'd say, about 10 minutes. Gone. That's it. It was on a beach, right? So gone. Never saw him again. But they, if you're pure nostalgia, I think that's it. As Corgi cars go, that's got to be up there. And it's a beautiful thing. I think that's a lovely thing. And I think, again, if you are planning on building a DB5 and you want a little display area, what a lovely thing. It's 30 quid, which seems a lot for a Corgi car, but I don't think it is really. I mean, I think that's more than affordable. I think that's a nice thing. I think it's a cute thing for a shelf. I think that's a lovely thing. In Titanic that's coming up this week, we are putting together the promenade deck. Now, I still don't know if we're attaching that to the boat deck. I hope we are. I think we are. But that's what's coming up in that one. So tune in for those. We're going to be having our Titanic stories as normal. In Infinity Gauntlet, what we're going to be doing, which is next week, is we are continuing work on the thumb. Now, the thumb is bloody humongous because this is just part of the thumb. The size of that. That's how many times my thumb goes into this part of the thumb. That's the back of the thumb. And this lights up. Look at that glow. Come on, man. Beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful thing. That's what we're doing. So we're doing thumb. So that's everything that's in that one. In the next Disney Dolls house that we're doing, we are starting work on the 3rd floor. So we're building Peter Pan's room. And in the Tumbler, we will be building the passenger seat. Now, those of you that are buying it from the newsagent, you will now be at the point where you start to overtake the people that are subscribing. So for the next 3 weeks, you're going to get parts that subscribers won't have yet. So you're going to get the first 3 parts of the passenger seats. So you're going to get the main section, then you're going to get the base, then you're going to get the arms, but you're not going to finish it. So by the time you get the 4th part to finish it, the subscribers will have caught up and they'll go on to the next 3. So we know that in the next 6 that are coming through, we know 4 parts of that build the passenger seat. I know. I've heard the complaint about there's not enough to do. There's plenty to do. We got to build the seats. The seats are an integral part of the car. What would you rather? Would you rather have a nice seat that, has gone together these parts and looks good in the model, or would you rather have a seat that was one piece that's screwed in instantly? I know what I'd rather have. So they do look nice. I mean, the seats look nice inside the... There we go. I've got it here. So here is the Tumbler up to this point. So this is up to stage 22. I mean, naturally, you've got all the front parts, but the seat itself is nice, man. The seat looks really nice. So it's, yeah. So by the time we've done the next pack, this seat will be in as well. So we're going to have both these seats in. Then who knows? So the last 2 parts that we're going to get, I don't know what they are. No one knows at this point. It could be the center console. I would imagine that's where we're going with it. It could be a bulkhead. Could be something completely different. I don't know. We could go somewhere else completely. That's what's happening with Titanic. So after we finish these parts on the deck of Titanic, we're going over to Hull. So next month's Titanic is Hull. So we're back to that. So who knows where Tumbler's going to go? I mean, that's what I like about Partworks. Is what a lot of people don't like about Partworks. I like the unknown. I like not knowing what comes next. I think it's a good thing. However, you'll remember the last time I spoke about Ecto 1, and Ecto 1's coming out. I'm very excited. So I was one of the people that told I wasn't getting Ecto 1, I was told I was getting my Ecto 1. Well, I can confirm there was this thing where originally it was supposed to be 141 parts to Ecto 1, then Fanhome said, no, we're just doing 140. So we wouldn't be getting 141. It was like, well, what was 141? Now I said what I think it is a dust cover. Because that's what they did with the DeLoreans. The very last part of the DeLorean was not buildable parts. It was a dust cover. And I said, I bet that's what it was. And they've just not bothered buying the dust covers. Well, I can tell you what comes in issue 141. I can show you what comes in issue 141 of the Ecto 1 would have come in it. And it's this. As predicted, a dust cover. Oh yeah, victory sip. So apparently we're not getting that. Good. Because I'm quite happy about the fact that I don't have to pay £12.50 for something I don't want and I'm never going to use. How many people use their DeLorean dust covers? You know what I mean? I've got a case of my Ecto. I don't ever need to use a dust cover, so I'm very happy about the fact that I don't have to pay $10.99 plus postage and packaging for a dust cover. Never going to use. So we know that the last parts that come in Ecto 1, so the very last pack, which will be part 140, I know what that is, and it's 2 aerials, and it is the ladder. And the very last thing you do to the car is you put the final aerial in place. That's it. So you attach the ladder, then you put the aerials in. So another pack that we've got coming, we don't work on the car. All we're working on is the gear that goes on the roof. And then in parts 139 and 140, so in 139, we have the long green tube to the side. They're called the oxygen tank. Who knew? That goes on there. We use the, again, for the life of me, I can't remember what the bloody thing's called, but we do have a water decal to put on there. So there's a water decal that goes on. And then the very last part 140, is 2 aerials, and the ladder and the hose. So a hose is going to go in, then the ladder screws on, everything gets bolted to the roof. We put one aerial across the top and one aerial from the front to the back, and that's it. And then Ecto 1 is built. So Ecto 1 should be complete in September. And how nice is it to see all of you receiving your Ecto 1s? So we've seen people that are just starting that journey, receiving their first parts of Ecto 1, and we've seen people that are picking up at stage 20 and stage 15 and stuff. Beautiful, because it just shows us we're back, baby. And I think that's a gorgeous thing because, you know, I mean, it was dark times this time last year. We were all like, okay, well, I'm never going to get to finish my model and I was this close. Well, we are going to finish our model thanks to Fan Home. That's a beautiful thing. I can't wait. I cannot wait to finish mine. I will be so happy when that turns up and we can just get that bloody model finished. Parkrec Upgrades have a prototype at the moment they put on their social medias of a new light bar. So the light bar they did originally, I know a few people didn't like because it was quite flat, whereas this one looks like the actual light bars, and it's got nice movement, does wonderful things. So check them out because that'll be available soon. So if you want silent motors, because let's face it, that Ecto 1's spinning lights sound like a frigging coffee grinder. So if you want nice silent lights, Parkrec Upgrades have got you and they're worth checking out. There's great stuff over on Parkrec Upgrades as well. It's always worth your time spinning on over there and taking a look what they do. Something else they do, and I've seen a few of our viewers from all over the world have commented on this, that they've not been able to get access to Fan Home. So Fan Home aren't serving every country in the world at the moment. Most of them they are, but some they aren't. Now, if you are in that situation where it's not being offered to you, well, Parkrec Upgrades offer a forwarding service where they will forward it to your home. So you can still subscribe to this and they will forward it on for you. So again, it's definitely worth swinging by and checking them out. Ian's got a hell of a service over there. It's worth your time. It really is. It's worth your time. It's worth your effort. Definitely go and check that out, because if you are in limbo and you can't finish your Ecto 1 because you're in a country that isn't being served by Fan Home, Parkrec Upgrades got you back, and they will be able to sort you out. You will be able to finish your builds. Beautiful thing. What have we been watching? Well, we have been watching Friday the 13th. Not a new one, nothing like that. The kid wanted to watch Friday the 13th movies. Now, I was a bit about that because you're not really old enough. But I thought, yeah, you know what? He wants to be an actor. He's into movies and whatnot. And I was in the fortunate position when I was younger that I was kind of trusted that he's into movies. And I was into movies. For the longest time when I was younger, I wanted to work in that industry. So once you kind of know that this is movies and it's not freaking you out, well, then my parents were good enough to go, okay, look, we trust you. So I let the kids watch things, well, I let the kid, not the youngest, I'll let the older one watch, he's a teenager, watch certain things that probably shouldn't, but there are certain things where I'm like, absolutely not. So as an example of this, I've let them watch the Friday the 13th movies because the gore in them is bordering on slapstick. These things have not aged well. I mean, honestly, it's laughable now. But I wouldn't let him watch Deadpool, which is a 15 certificate. He's only 2 years off being old enough to watch Deadpool. Under no circumstance would I let him watch Deadpool. I just wouldn't, because the content in it is not suitable for him. Whereas Friday the 13th is so bloody ridiculous. It is bordering on slapstick. I'm not even joking. Now, I love Friday the 13th, and those who remember my old build room would have noticed the Jason mask, and honestly, I'm obsessed with them. I own all the movies and I love them. But I can't defend the fact they've not aged well. They just have not aged well. The misogyny in them is rife. Honestly, it's in every Friday the 13th movie. They're a little bit homophobic. They're a little bit racist. They're very misogynistic. And it's like, oh, these did not stand the test of time. And the violence is laughable. And I tried to explain to the kid, I said, look, there's no likable characters in a Friday the 13th movie. Like, not one. I'm like, so you do find yourself rooting for Jason, right? So like the kids turn up at the summer camp and you're like, look at this douche. Now I'm sure in like the 80s, he might have been seen as that's the coolest guy that ever lived. Now you look at him and think, man, I can't wait for this asshole to get his meeting with the machete. that's kind of what's going on. So we're watching it going, oh man, I hope that dude's next. That's what we've got going, and we've binged. So we went through, we started on Sunday. I mean, it's only Wednesday now. Saturday we started. And we're on part 8. So we've absolutely binged these movies, and it's like, wow, and some of them are really bad. Some of them are good. 4 still stands up. So if you've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th Part 4, that one still stands up. That one's still a good movie. 5 is woefully bad. I mean, it's like really bad. Like at one point, me and the kid were cracking up because I'm like, did he just teleport? Because there's a bit where there's no way he could get from one point to another, but he does. There's another really funny scene as well, where he's killed like 3 people upstairs. So the 2 run downstairs to sort of get out of the house, and he comes smashing through the door. You're like, dude, you were just in the house. You must have left and locked yourself out to do that. It's so weird, but funny. We've been cracking up. And the other thing we've been watching is Mystery Science Fiction Theatre 3000. If you've never seen that, it's the funniest goddamn show. Netflix bought it, thankfully. But it was a show that used to be on Sci-Fi years ago. And it's quite a simple premise. It's a guy that gets abducted by aliens, and they force him to watch bad movies. He just has to watch tons of bad movies. But the bad movies he watches are real movies. So it's like Gogglebox before Gogglebox was a thing. But at the front, you can see the silhouettes of the 3. It's the guy and his 2 robot friends watching the movies. And they just rag on them and make fun of them. And we've been watching that and absolutely laughing our ass off. They did Mac and Me, and we were in tears watching it. So if you've not seen Mystery Science Fiction Theatre 3000, strongly recommend it. Because if you like all the pop culture stuff we do, you'll crack up watching it. It's just a funny, funny show. I got other stuff to tell you, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. It's been a mad week. I want to say thank you to everybody that sent pictures this week. So we received a lot of photos this week of your work, and as I said, we are building up quite a nice collection where we're going to do a video of your work. So it's not just your modifications. So if you're not making modifications, it's not just modifications. We're showing people that this is my collection. This is my collection of this. This is my collection of this. And we're happy to show them on the channel. So you'll get to see all of these things, and you'll get to see other people's collections. And, you know, there's some really cool stuff. So if you've got something you'd like to share, send it in, and we're happy to show it. You can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to show you stuff on the channel, and you see like-minded people will like your stuff as well. We've got some great ones coming. There's been some fantastic modifications that have been sent through, and it's so nice hearing from all of you. It really is. And you're never bothering me. Everyone starts their emails with "sorry to bother you." You're not bothering me. If you're bothering me, I wouldn't give you email address. So it's like you never bother me. We love hearing from you. Thank you for all your support. We are scary close to 2,000 subscribers. We're like 30-something subs off 2,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. And when we get there, me and the kids go a little party about it, I think, which is it's a beautiful thing. We will be back this week with Titanic. The other thing I'm going to tell you before I get there, if you are in Gloucestershire this weekend, there is another fantastic Evolution Wrestling show coming up, and it's this one here. Now that's going to be a lot of fun. That's like their version of SummerSlam. There's a Hawaiian street fight where they only use beach-themed weapons. There's a submission match for the heavyweight title. There's the tag titles on it. It's going to be a good one. And it's 10 quid a ticket. It's an absolute bargain. You can get tickets in the link below. The other thing they've just announced, so if you are a wrestling fan, this is quite cool. They are going to be in Bristol in December, which I appreciate is a ways up, but they're selling tickets now because they have got a star of WWE and TNA going to be appearing. He's doing meet and greet, but he's also going to be on the show as well. And if you are a budding wrestler and you would like an in-ring seminar with him, you can. But this is who they have got. So Eric Young of Sanity will be performing for EVW Wrestling, and you can have a meet and greet with him. You can go and watch the show if that's what you want to do, or you can have an in-ring seminar with him. Fantastic. You can book that now. Again, link is down below. They are my kids' company, so my kid is in their academy. So anything we can do to help out the show, we're going to. But that is a great night, so we can't wait. We're going to be going to that one. We are also going to be at the Gloucester show, so we're looking forward to that a lot. So if you're there, feel like you can say hi. You know, it's a good one. That's all from me. We will be back with Titanic this weekend, almost definitely guaranteed. And we've got other stuff coming up on the channel. And as I said, we've got a company that have wanted to send us something to review. And I was very funny about this. I'm like, you're not paying me to say anything. But they have been amazing. They've been so open. They said, we don't care if you don't like it. You review it, and you know that's the way it is. If you don't, they want feedback. So if I don't like it, they'll get their feedback. And you know me, if I don't like it, I'll tell you I don't like it. So that'll be good. So tune in for that one. That is all from me. You can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. Look forward to hearing from you. We'll be back this weekend with Titanic. I'll see you then.